What's going on Everything Sports? Back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants trading up to select Jaxson Dart at 25th overall in last night's first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. And this is a very interesting move for the Giants, and it's one that I anticipated. If you watched my 7-round New York Giants mock draft, you can go and do that. It was, I believe, 2 videos ago now. And I had Abdul Carter 3, and I had the Giants trading up to take. I didn't know which pick it would be, but I knew that they would trade up, and I knew it would be for Jaxson Dart. And I think it's a very interesting move, and I think it's really interesting that they jumped the Rams to get him, and then the Rams right after traded out. So it clearly seems like the pick for the Rams was going to be Jaxson Dart until the Giants jumped them and got him. So if Sean McVay and Brian Daboll like a quarterback, usually that's probably a good sign for that quarterback, and it usually means that that's going to be a pretty good player. I just love the move for the Giants in terms of what we had to trade. It wasn't a crazy amount. It was the 99th pick. Of course, it was including 34. The 99th pick in tonight's draft, so the end of the third round, as well as a third-round pick next year. So, I mean, they didn't move up from 34 to 30. They moved up from 34 to 25, jumped the Rams at 26, and made this move. I really like the move, and I think, Brian Daboll knows what he's talking about with quarterbacks, and so does Sean McVay, who apparently really wanted him. Eli Manning also apparently had played a big part in Jaxson Dart, of course, from Ole Miss, where Eli Manning played. And Dart, again, 21 years old, just like Abdul Carter. He's a little bit older, though. He'll be 22 very soon. But he played through the past 3 seasons at Ole Miss. And before going to Mississippi, he played 6 games at USC. So he really emerged once he got to Mississippi. But I think this is a good pick. I think that the value in terms of what we traded wasn't substantial. I said as long as they don't trade a future first, I'm good with it. And they didn't even trade a future second. You take a look at what the Falcons traded to get up to 26 with the Rams. It was a crazy amount. That was a crazy move, and I thought it was stupid from the Falcons. You better be sure that edge rusher is going to be the next Myles Garrett if you're trading future first to move up and get that guy. So I just thought it was a very odd trade, a very odd price. And, as a Giants fan, it makes you feel real good on, what we were able to move up for after seeing what it cost for the Falcons. Everyone talked about Brian Daboll and how much he thought Jaxson Dart had traits of Josh Allen. And he sees traits and sees similarities of Josh Allen with Jaxson Dart. And he feels like he can groom him up to be that. I think you got to love the pick. He's 6'3", 225, so he's a big body guy. He's not one of those small 6 foot, 180-pound quarterbacks. He's a big boy, and he's got a great ability to run. I think that dual threat is super important in today's NFL. But looking at his stats last season, he played 13 games. He had 29 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. He also had 500 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. And the year before that, he was sensational on the ground. He had 400 rushing yards with 8 rushing touchdowns. So he had a total of over 60 touchdowns in the past 2 seasons in total. So I think it makes a lot of sense. He had over 4,200 passing yards last season. Like I said, his touchdown-interception ratio was terrific. And he was the second guy off the board after Shedeur Sanders, and I can't say I really expected that. I thought Shedeur was going to go 21 to the Steelers. I'm stunned that he's still on the board, but I like this pick of Jaxson Dart. I think if Daboll and McVay think he's good, he's going to be a good player. And I like the idea of having Russell Wilson. That Daboll already announced that he is going to be the starter week 1. This season, Russ Wilson is the starter. Jameis Winston's probably the backup. And Jaxson Dart's just going to sit behind and learn the system, learn from the 2 veterans. So I love the move, and it probably buys them some more time. I think if you're Shane and Daboll, you kind of had to do this, but I also think that they didn't do it out of desperation. So I really like the move. I think you can sell the fan base on a potential franchise quarterback, and I think most of the fan base is sold, and a lot of people in the industry really, really like the Giants draft, and they think that it was a slam dunk. They thought the Giants were the winners of last night. They graded it an A, all that good stuff. So I think I really, really like what the Giants did. I think for Shane and Dable, like I said, it could buy them some more time. It could you have something to sell to the to ownership, to the fan base. So I think it makes a ton of sense. And of course, he's not a guy who's going to step in right away, like we talked about. So it buys you more time, and I think it's good that he's not going to start right away. Dable will be able to kind of groom him up before throwing him out there right away and potentially ruining his confidence. So I really, really like the pick. You guys let me know good stuff down in the comment section. You like to pick a Jaxson Dart from Mississippi. I love it. I don't think we traded too much. Let me know all the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys on the next video. And as always, let's go Giants.